Hey guys, welcome back to Insomniac's Dream. Obviously, no speaking intro with this one for lack of mouth reasons. But hello just the same. I'll be quick, so super awesome thanks to all of you who have subscribed or comment or share or just watch. I really appreciate it. I hope you all enjoy these Halloween videos coming down the pipe, and I can't wait to bring you more. Today's video is for this creepy haunted doll, a look that could be pre-painted first so you can save time when applying. And to show you what I mean, let's just jump into the tutorial. To create this look, I'm using a prosthetic from mostlydead.com. They were nice enough last year and actually sent me a few foam latex prosthetics, and this is one that I had been dying to work with. To create a base color, I mixed a bit of white acrylic paint with some latex. This gives a little bit of flexibility to the acrylic as well as allows it to adhere better to the foam latex prosthetic, since latex likes to stick to latex. And a bonus of this is that it will dry down to a matte finish, so you don't have to do any setting and it becomes easy to apply the makeup on top of. Also, I am just sitting this on top of my own face cast to paint, but these prosthetics are made to fit just about any face, so you can sit this on top of anything, a bowl or a bunch of clay that you might have around, and it just makes it a little bit easier to paint it with the curve, but it's not necessary to have your own face cast for this at all. To start adding color and dimension to the face, I am using alcohol activated paints. These require 99% alcohol to work, and are probably on the pricier side, so you can do this actually with cream paints and alcohol as well, just to thin them out. This just kind of works almost like more of a watercolor paint, and alcohol paints dry down to a completely matte to the touch finish. But you do want to try and work with grease or cream paints if you don't have alcohol, just because it's going to have a lot more flexibility with a mask, whereas something like water activated face paints or liquid liners are probably going to crease and bend with the prosthetic moving, so you want something with just a little bit more flexibility. For my doll, I was really going for the dark eye look, and I even added some veining into it, which you can totally leave out if you want to go just for the porcelain look, since they wouldn't really have veining, but I kind of like the look of really creepy dolls that seem to have almost like an infected paint on them, so it's kind of what I was going for. I'm just using a little bit of purple and blue paints, really watered down, to create these kind of veins coming off of the eyes and around the mouth area. And I mainly focused the dark colors around the eyes, mouth, and nose. One thing with this that is a little bit different from most makeup looks I do is that you kind of want to avoid contouring when you get to work with a prosthetic like this, because the rounded out cheeks and softened nose on this are what are really going to give that doll effect, and you actually don't want to add any contouring into the face that would give it more dimension, since the doll face is actually a pretty perfectly smooth surface, and it's far more inhuman to leave these features kind of as they are sculpted into it. Here I was just taking a stipple sponge and using the darker colors like the blacks and blues to add a little bit more texture to the face, kind of to make it look dirty and aged. And then also using that black on a fine detail brush to fill in the cracks that are sculpted into it. This step you can also add in a little bit more cracking if you want to, and keep in mind that all of the steps that we're doing here could just be applied to your own face if you don't have a prosthetic. Making cracks on your face would be the exact same step of just filling it in with black and using the different colors around your face to add veining and darker shadows around the eyes. So you don't need a prosthetic if you do not have the funds to order one. Only thing to note about that, if you are going to be painting this on your face, I would not recommend using alcohol paints around your eyes. That would be bad and would probably burn. So be sure to use cream paints for those areas or just makeup safe options. For the lips, I used a little bit of a combination of mauve and purple tones and filled them in first how I would think a doll mouth would be filled in. And then I took some of the alcohol again to dilute the cream paint and water it down a little bit, and I just brushed away some of the color I had put on. This just gave more of that look of paint that had actually been faded over time because the doll maybe had aged and had taken a little bit of damage and weathering. So again, just trying to up that creep factor a little bit. And then, as with many looks, the highlighting phase is what's really going to bring different areas of this face to life, especially the cracks. So I was taking the white alcohol paint and using it along the edges and then just lightly blending it with my finger. This again would be the exact same step, especially if you were painting on your face. This is really going to help the cracks look far more receded by making the edges appear more forward. And it just gives that look that they are standing out a little bit more than simply being sculpted into the prosthetic. And this can be a pretty subtle step that you may not really notice, but it just adds that little bit of extra ridging that makes the paint more legible from far away.
Are you scared?
And of course, adding a few highlights to the lips definitely helps to give that little bit of dull shine and kind of complete the overall feel. And then once you're done painting, you can wait until the night you are going out or wearing this guy to apply it. So you can save yourself a little bit of time on actual application day. And so moving on to applying, I first made sure my hair was fully out of my way because you do not want to get skin adhesive over your hair. It is not fun to try and get out. And you want to first figure out how it's best going to sit on your face and what points of the mask will be touching you. I also wanted to point out that you want to make sure to cut out the nose holes, and you can also cut the mouth open on this prosthetic. You do not need to leave it closed like me. I just left it closed because it was a fun effect for this video. But if you're hoping to, talk or eat or maybe something silly like that on your day out, then you might want to cut that open. So the first thing I did was turned myself into a panda by using some black gel eyeliner and making sure to set it with a matte black eyeshadow. I just went for really big circles around my eye area. That way, any part that you would see into your face from the eye holes of the prosthetic, it's just going to be creepy black. And then once you are looking amazing, you want to throw in contacts if you're going to be wearing any here, since they are tricky to put on after the prosthetic is glued onto your face. So again, I just quickly figured out where the connection points on this mask are, and then I added a few bits of Prosade. You can use spirit gum, just any kind of actual makeup skin adhesive. Please do not use something that is not safe for your skin. It will not be fun for anyone involved. And something to note with a lot of skin adhesives, less really is more. You do not need to cover your entire face in adhesive. It'll probably just be horrible to try and get off at the end of the night. Using a few specific areas and doing the same on the mask is going to be your best friend. And a lot of skin adhesives are contact style, so you want to apply it to both your face and the mask. That is how you're going to get the best connection for the prosthetic. I started by making sure that my nose bridge was the first piece attached, since that's going to really dictate where it's going to sit in relation to your eyes. And then I pull up on the higher part of the mask to, again, get a comfortable position for your eye holes, since that's going to be probably the most important. Sight is kind of key. And then you can do the sides of the face and the very bottom. To blend the edges of the mask a little bit better, I did add a few coats of liquid latex and let them dry in between. Doing thin layers of liquid latex is better since they dry a lot faster, and then you can just build up from there. I think total I did about 5 layers all around the mask, but I did actually avoid my forehead just because it sat so close to my hairline, and liquid latex in your hair is not a fun time, so I figured my hairline was just going to cover this one. Or if you have a wig, even better. And then while waiting for some of the latex to dry, I figured I might as well finish up my neck and chest that was going to be underneath my costume. For this, I used Makeup Forever's Color White, which is just a cream white makeup, and I applied this all over and blended it out. And then I used the exact same steps as I had used on the face with different cream and alcohol paints to create that texture and coloring on the neck so it would match better with the face and look a little bit more seamless. And keep in mind, for things like the neck and chest, when you do stuff like veining, you can use a larger brush and actually create bigger veins because they're going to be a lot harder to see, whereas the face tend to be more delicate. The neck, you can have a little bit more of a heavy hand because you need to be able to see it from far away.
I am you.
Once all your layers of liquid latex have dried down, you can go over with the same cream white paint and fill in your ears and around those edges. And then again, the last finishing step there is to use all of those same colors and a stipple sponge to just go over the blend lines to kind of add that texture back in and hide the seam line a little bit better and make it all look like one piece. And then this is where you would either throw on a wig if you were rocking one, or like myself, I just took down my hair that I had crazy curled ahead of time to try and get the most doll-like hair I could. And again, just added a bit more coloration to where the prosthetic ends at the very top. And this could very well be the end of your doll adventure, and you should look incredibly creepy. But something else you can also add if you want to go that extra little mile is makeup sweat. And the point of this is it's a bit of like a glycerin texture, and it simply will add a layer of shine all over the face. And I found for this look it kind of worked because it gave that porcelain doll shine to all of the edges that really caught the light when you moved. And that is it for my finished haunted doll look. I really hope you guys enjoyed this one or got creeped out, but you know, hopefully not too creeped out because I don't want to like scar anybody. No wig this round since I'm rocking my actual hair, but the contacts are from Camo Eyes and everything else will be listed in the description. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I of course will see you next video, so until then, bye guys!